Hi, I'm going to take you on a very informal tour of my Introduction to HyFlex course design professional development course, and this is developed for faculty who want to learn more about this particular type of teaching model. So I start with the getting started area, and in this area I tell the faculty everything they're going to need to know to get started in the course. I start with an introduction, the outcomes, how they will be graded. I also give them a course schedule, a suggested course schedule, how they will process through the course. And then, because this is an asynchronous course and it lasts a week, so I give them that course schedule. And then I tell them how to literally get started. So to get started, they're going to go to the lessons area, and we're going to take a look in the lessons area and see how that's structured. I start with a welcome video. Like I said, this is the asynchronous course, so I want to establish that instructor presence. And we're going to take a look at the structure now. So you see that it's structured into 2 lessons, and then there's a course evaluation at the end. So let's take a look at lesson 1. In lesson 1, I have the lesson overview and the outcomes for lesson 1. And then I also have the tasks that they will complete for lesson 1. And I created a SoftChalk lesson. And SoftChalk is just an e-learning software tool used to develop e-learning, that we use to develop e-learning modules. So we're going to take a look at that. Again, I have the introduction and the outcomes here for this lesson. I start with the video, just a video overview of the HyFlex, what the HyFlex course model is. I try to simplify it into like 2.5 minutes. And then I talk a little bit more about it and give them graphics to help them process the information. I try not to make my courses too text heavy. I try to hit as many modalities as I can when I'm instructing, so that students can better process the information. Again, I have a video so they can see exactly what the HyFlex model looks like in action. And then I have a self-check. The self-check is just there to help them process the information. They do have a quiz on is this information covered, and we'll look at that a little bit later. But I want to make sure that the participants are not passively interacting with the material. I want them to be actively engaging with the material. So I always like to do self-checks or self-check activities. And then I continue to talk about the 4 principles of the HyFlex model. I give them a video about the 4 principles of the HyFlex model, and then talk about some real world adaptations. And again, I give them a self-check quiz. I like to give self-check quizzes, like I said, throughout the module. I don't like to wait till the end to give them a self-check quiz, because I want them constantly interacting with the material. And then there's a summary. So that's the lesson 1 module, SoftChalk lesson. And now we're going to go back and look at the assignments for module 1. So I have 2 assignments for this module or lesson. One is a discussion forum, and the other one is just a quiz. So the discussion forum is, what do you think about the HyFlex course design? So in this discussion, they're going to discuss their thoughts about the HyFlex course model and how it relates to their particular instructional practices. So I wanted to make it personal for them. And I gave them some things they may consider when they're answering the question, because a lot of times when you give people an open-ended question, they're kind of like, what are you looking for? How am I supposed to answer this? So I kind of guide them as to how they might answer that question. And then I just give a basic Blackboard quiz to help them process the information that's covered. And this is, if you think about Bloom's taxonomy, this is like on that lower level quiz, on that lower level Bloom's, because this is just some foundational information that is testing the assignments that will cause the participants to apply the information that they learned. We'll cover that in lesson 2. So there are some assignments where students will actually apply what they learned, and we'll take a look at that in a little bit. So now we're in lesson 2. Again, you see the outcomes and the tasks. And again, I have a soft chalk lesson. It looked very similar to the first one, except, so I'm not going to go in that, but except this soft chalk lesson is about, excuse me, this soft chalk lesson is about the application of how will you apply the HyFlex model. So then we have, again, a quiz, and this is just to help them process just to process the information that was covered in the soft chalk. But this is really the crux of the assignment here. This is the crux of it here is where they are actually applying what they've learned. So they're going to create a 20-minute HyFlex or abbreviated HyFlex lesson plan. So I like to give them the option of what they will be doing, because I want it to be relevant to their specific needs and goals. So I give them an option. They can do an abbreviated one, or they could do the full out HyFlex model. So I give very detailed instructions here, and I also give an example of what your lesson plan will look like when you're done, so they know what the end result is going to look like. And I also have a sheet where they'll download, they're going to download this particular sheet right here. So this Word document right here. And I have, as you can see, I have two versions of it. I have one Word document, and I have one that, because sometimes the table format, when you're filling them in, is not as accessible. So I also have another type of document that is more accessible for people who are using assistive devices. So then for part 2 of the lesson, they're actually going to do a video recording and give me the link so that I can see it. And then I explain how to do that. Also, I did one myself so they could see what it would look like. And I also gave them instructions for how they're going to be recording it, and how they will provide the link to me. It's pretty simple to do, but I still want to make sure I give them instructions, just in case there are people that may be a little lost. I don't want that to be a barrier for them, the technology part of it. So yes, and that's the course. I hope that you enjoyed it.